Let's go back to the studio, and our next question comes from Josh Taylor.
Hi, we've heard all week from Cardinal Pell about how World Youth Day is for everyone in Sydney, but there's a lot of gay residents in Sydney, and we know the Pope has quite a negative stance on homosexuality. So what place do the gay residents have in World Youth Day?
Angela Shanahan, let me come to you. Gay Catholics have been put to one side here. We saw last night, for example, there was a group of gay Catholics who met because they weren't allowed to meet as part of the official World Youth Day celebrations, but they were still there, and they were making quite moving statements about their sexuality and their faith. Were you moved?
I actually didn't see that, but I have investigated this problem myself quite a bit, and I'm very worried that a lot of young people simply do not understand. They talk about the Pope's view. This isn't the Pope's view. This is an immutable teaching of the Church. Basically, that we are male and female. That is the immutable. That's an immutable fact.
Angela, this Pope actually wrote the words of the doctrine at the moment. This is the Pope who said we are all morally disordered. This man.
Yes, that's right.
Yes, this man wrote those words.
This man did not invent that. That has always been. Well, he didn't, David.
It's not a recent
David, he didn't invent this. This has always been the teaching of the Church. It's never been any different.
So
allow me to say this.
I beg your pardon, sure.
There is another aspect to the Church's teaching on homosexuality, and it is this. Every single person on this earth, whether they are gay or straight, is God's creature, and he loves them, right? There is no way that that person can be outside the Church unless he puts himself outside the Church or herself outside the Church. And the way that they do that is to act upon this homosexuality. So the point is...
To have sex.
Yes, because if you have homosexual sex...
That's it.
Now, it's a long explanation, and I don't want to stand up here as a theologian, but what you are doing, in effect, is making your body an empty vessel for sex, and the Church teaches that sex is fundamental to creation. In fact, sex is a holy thing in Catholic teaching.
OK. I want to hear from...
Just one other thing,
right.
And if anyone in this audience is interested, if you really want to look at it, there is a teaching on this, and then there's a very good book about it, and it's called Beyond Gay by John Morrison, and it also says, I think, that we do not represent just our sexuality. We are not our sexuality. We are whole human beings, yes, but we are not just gay or straight. We are ourselves. We come with a mind.
All right, let me go back to David Marr before we move on to the other panellists, just to respond to that.
Angela, you people have no idea how... Please. How unspeakably cruel you are. That nonsense, that poetic nonsense, all God's creatures, and we love you, but you can never have sex. You have to live your life an entirely sterile life without sex. How would you go, Angela, tell me, how would you go as the mother of 9 children never to have sex in your life because the Church defines you?
I am the mother of 9 children.
But how would you go? How would you go being celibate your entire life in order to meet the holy requirements of your church?
That's very difficult. I don't say hard, it's easy.
But it's for holiness, it's necessary.
It's not
it is
always
so
right.
unspeakably nasty
David,
and cruel.
It's not always right even for straight people to have sex. Sometimes straight people are called to celibacy too.
They can be called to celibacy, but your lot don't allow people to be called to celibacy. They're told they have to be celibate. They can't have offices in the church. They can't be employed by your church. They go to hell if they have sex, but they're deeply loved They're all God's creatures.
Okay, all right.
I'm sorry, I have no
It's not true
no
that
patience
they
with it
can't be
anymore.
employed.
It is just bigotry and cruelty and hatred.
Okay, I'd like to hear from Alexander Downer on this question.
A moderate point of view.
On this question?
Yes, you were talking about love just a moment ago.
Look, I wouldn't set myself up as judge and jury in relation to the Catholic Church like Lindsay Tanner. I'm an Anglican. So I'm quickly going to kick for touch here in terms of the Catholic Church. But look, personally, my view is that people's sexuality isn't any of my business. It's their business. And I don't want to encroach onto that aspect of anybody's life.
Actually, can I say one thing? Actually, that's my view too. But I was asked that question.
Indeed you were. And we have another question. We have another question now, and it comes from Kieran Leal.